we are full circle back to what would the realtor do. So the situation was you have two contracts that are virtually the same except for purchase price. And you are looking at these two contracts and you're saying, duh, we're going to pick the higher number. Like I said, the price really didn't matter. All you needed to know was that they were both at least asking or a little over. You're going to pick the higher price, right? In some cases, yes. In some cases, no. There are situations to where it is much better to pick the slightly lower number. And here's why. It's actually really simple. If your agent is doing right by you, they are running comps and comparables in the area consistently, even when the property is listed for when those offers do come in, depending how long you've been on the market, because you want to make sure that you are not taking those offers well over what an appraisal will come in at. And this is something that I see frequently, is that people throw out there these bigger numbers and they try and beat them by just a little bit, $5,000 here, $6,000 there, but they don't offer an appraisal gap, which is essentially, if it doesn't appraise, they are willing to bring X amount of dollars to the closing table in cash to make up that difference. So in this particular instance, what I would suggest is that you take the lower dollar amount. And the reason being is because if you ran the comparables in the area and you see that we are really on that cusp, like we are right on that line, then you want to take the offer that's going to cause you less turmoil throughout the transaction. What I'm referring to when I talk about less turmoil throughout the transaction is appraisal issues. If an offer comes in and it's right at that cusp and somebody is just over that edge, is it worth the risk of taking that one that's just a little bit higher and potentially having to come back to negotiating if the appraisal comes in low? I don't know. That's up to you. Would I suggest it? No, I don't suggest that to my clients. I explain both sides of it. It's always their option to choose either one. It's their decision in the end. However, my expert opinion on it is the closer we can stay to what we have data to support that the appraisal should come back at is where we need to be, unless there is an appraisal gap and they are willing to bring some cash to the table. That is when you can kind of deviate from this a little bit. But if that option is not on the table and they're just offering over, then you have to be really careful, because yes, you can have contracted backup offers, which say if the first one falls out, then you can automatically go to the next one. You're already under contract with them essentially at that point. However, why do you want to go back to the drawing board? You really don't. You don't want to have to go back and say, well, I'm not lowering my price. Well, I'm not bringing cash to the table. We can't agree. Now we got to do something different. Nobody wants to go through that, because usually this happens at least halfway through, possibly a little further into the transaction. So now you've had it off the market all this time. And if you didn't have a contracted backup offer, you're just stuck going back on the market. And if you had previous offers, they may have found something else now. So it just puts you in an incredibly bad pickle. And it's not a place that we want to be in. So my advice to my clients is, let's stay as close to what we can, with data support, that the appraisal should come back at, unless there is some kind of appraisal gap that kind of sweetens the deal. My name is Morgan with Morgan Rountree Realty, and I work up and down the Georgia coast on the East Coast side, and I'm happy to help answer questions, explain this. If you have a specific situation that you're curious about, let me know, because I want to educate you. I want to help you, because you may try to go at this alone. And you absolutely can. But these are little nuances that you need to know. And also, even if you're using a realtor, if they are not having these conversations with you, then that's problematic, because they need to be explaining these things. It is so important that you understand why your options are what they are and the best outcome to get the deal done, not just to take the most money sometimes. So if you have any questions, drop them below. I'd be happy to help. You can call, text, email, whatever's easiest for you, and we can chat it out and see what I can do for you.